everybody, welcome to HR Headlight Restoration. As you see, having a lot of fun here, even through all this COVID crap, trying to make our way to get down to the US. What we're going to be doing here is probably some few videos showing what kind of stuff we're going to be doing in the shop while we prepare to get ourselves down there. Hopefully 1st of January we'll be doing our grand opening. That being said, as you see our little Jeep here, everybody wants it. Instead of selling it, we're going to be giving this thing away through our videos. So if you want to keep watching, you'll actually find a way to be able to enter to win this pretty cool little Jeep. So now let me explain what we're going to try to accomplish before we head down to the US. We literally have only maybe a month and a half before we have to be out of this building. This was our building in Canada. It's gonna be sad to see it go. It's so nice to have a massive shop like this. Really hard to find something like this in the US, where we're going anyway. So we only have a month and a half to get rid of this RV completely redone and gone over to get ready for the trip to head back down there hopefully in January. So by the 1st of November, we no longer have this shop. So I'm gonna show you exactly what it is that we're planning on doing with the RV. As a lot of people will know, and you can go look at our previous videos, you'll see how we turn basically a cube truck into an RV. Not an easy task. I'm going to tell anybody that wants to do it, really do your homework. The costs are enormous and it seems like it never ends. So we first started off with a cube truck, as you can take a look, and turned it into a full-blown RV show hauler for going and doing our shows. Now, what we found after being in it for 7.5 months down in the States last winter, getting all of our corporations and everything all set up and all the business ready to start going, was a few things with the motor. It's getting to that age where it needs some TLC. That being said, we try to do everything ourselves. Why not? We're gonna learn as we do it. So, as you can see here, we've already tore down the motor. We're replacing water pumps, turbos, all lines, water lines. We've already replaced alternators. We're going to clean up the motor, paint the motor so it's not rusting. We're trying to hold back the rust anyway. Good old Canadian climate really takes its toll on Canadian vehicles. So while we have it apart, we're going to actually try to clean it up and make it really nice. So the biggest thing is that it's dependable. And the last thing we want to do when we were coming back, we broke down in Missouri for 2 days. All because of a stupid starter and a bolt being gone. So we really want to go over this to make sure that everything is up to par. And while we're doing that, replace everything we possibly can so it kind of eliminates anything that can go wrong. So again, we're going to be replacing starters, water pumps, lines, air systems, all the gaskets on the motor. We're going to be replacing the transmission, which it was starting to make quite a bit of growling noise. Had higher kilometers, so we said forget it, let's just change the transmission. While we have it out, we're going to put all new clutches into it. So that's pretty much what we're going to be doing on the engine side. Now with the RV being down in the States, when we first built the RV, we thought, oh, we're not going to need heat because we're going down to California. We didn't realize that wintertime it still gets pretty cold. So we were running off of propane heaters, which not the safest thing in the world to be in. So we turn them on and then turn them off. So now back to what we're going to be doing with this RV is when we noticed that we were down there and it was so hot in the daytime, but then at nighttime she would drop down really cool. We were running off of propane heaters. Not a very safe thing to be doing, especially inside of a cab with not a lot of ventilation. So we turn them on and then we turn them back off again before we go to sleep, and then wake up, we cold, we turn them on, turn them off. So to finish that, we are actually going to put in an RV heating system into it underneath. So if you notice, we already have our propane tanks on the one side running into our hot water on demand system. Right up in here, we've actually purchased a large RV heating system that will now be ducted into all the floors through the living room, bathroom, bedroom, so on. So that's one big job that we have to get out of the way. Now, one of our biggest pet peeves when we were driving this truck and going to shows and knowing everything that we know now is trying to find a place to wash a rig this big. It's really tough. A lot of events are in the middle of nowhere. They're not around anywhere to wash it. So if you hit a bit of a rainstorm, especially being a black rig, it gets destroyed really fast, really quickly. So when you get there, we're trying to wash it with having little to no water, or trying to find an RV place to wash it. The other side of it is your average of $100 to $170 to have your rig washed somewhere if somebody's going to be washing it, and they don't do that great of a job. So that being said, what we're going to do on this particular rig is we're going to put on a pressure washer. No, excuse me. We're going to be putting on a pressure washer system. So now that we know that that's a real big problem with ours, and we really wanted a way to be able to wash and maintain our rig no matter where we go, whether we're tied into water or we're not tied into water, we're going to actually put on a whole water system to pressure wash the whole rig. That we're going to put a 50-foot reel on this side, a 50-foot reel on the other back compartment, gas powered pressure washer underneath, and 2 holding tanks. As well as we're going to be able to tie into our main 2 water tanks that we have for the whole rig. So we'll have plenty of water to be able to wash this, or wash any vehicles or anything we have that we bring to the show in case we need to do it. As well as if we're hooked up to shore water or RV park water, we can just run directly from there. So let me take a look and let you see exactly what it is that we're going to fit all in the back of this truck. So let me explain to you what we're actually going to be putting into this rig. We have our 2 holding tanks. Going to give us a lot of water. Hopefully it should be enough to look after a single to maybe even a 1.5 of washing the rig. Putting in a 12-volt pump system to be able to run it, so we will be able to run off the batteries of the truck as well as the water from the truck, so we don't have to be hooked up to anything. We can wash this rig anywhere we go. But if we're now hooked up to a water system, say of an RV park or at a house where we can actually access water and power, we'll be able to go right to the pressure washer system and run it just normally like you would at home. Now the other side of it is, say for instance we run out of this water and we're halfway through a wash, we're almost done, we'll have another switch that we can click onto and actually pull from the onboard water system, which is another 2 tanks. So we'll pretty much never have to worry about running out of water while we're on the road. So as you can see here, we have our 2 50-foot reels and go on each side of the RV. We have our 50-foot reel hoses, all of our hoses to connect to the pressure washer. We have to mount the pressure washer in underneath the truck, so you're not really going to know it's there. And we'll have wands set up specifically on each side, so we don't even have to disconnect a wand from each side. One person can be on one side, another person can go on the other side. So we'll have 50 feet to run to the front of the RV or to a trailer behind the RV. Once we get our stacker trailer, we'll be able to wash the stacker trailer as well. So we're pretty excited about this. It's a lot of work. Again, we have to have this done by November 1st. So between the heating system, the motor, the transmission, and all the power wash system, it all has to be done by November 1st, giving us about a 1.5 months left here to be able to accomplish all this. Pretty sure we can do it, but we're going to be really putting in a lot of time. So if you want to watch these videos, we're going to actually show you what we're doing to put these in, making the cradles. So if it's something that you want to put on your own rig at home, I think it's a great option. I think it's an affordable option. We go to wreckers, RV wreckers, we pick up tanks and pump. Costs us next to nothing. I think we might have $50 in the tanks and the pump. Used pressure washer or a new pressure washer, you know, $300-400, you got your pressure washer. Now the lines and everything, once we got all this, we probably spent about another $500 in all the connecting and all the pressure washer hoses and nozzles. But again, if the way I looked at it, if I'm under $1,000 and I have onboard water anytime I want, wherever I want, that's less than, you know, 7-8 washes somewhere, and it's paid for. So that being said, hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for the upcoming ones of us actually doing all this work onto the rig. We should be posting these, you know, a few times a week to really let people know exactly where we are, where we're going. And again, don't forget this Jeep. Again, we're pretty excited about this. some person is going to be pretty ecstatic to have this in their house and ride around with their kids. And the nice thing is, it's not just for kids. Adults can get in it, kids can get into it. Everybody comments on this everywhere we go. Everybody wants to buy it from us. But we're pretty excited to be able to give this away to somebody and make somebody have a lot of fun. And thanks for watching.